Hello, as this is my first year on Wanderlust, I've decided to keep a video diary of my progress, and these are the first few pages from Module 1. So my word for January I chose was movement, as I'm trying to get fitter and increase my strength. And I loved scribbling down all of these kind of wild marks and then using the thick brush that Cassia recommended to cover them up. And I decided to have a second go with a basis of a wax crayon and then some transparent paint over the top to kind of give more movement and flow to the piece. And the next week I loved using the fan brush on this watercolour piece, particularly for the movement of the water, and using the different tools and different ways of using the water fan brush here. And I love these different colours, lovely colours. And then in week 3 we used just palette knives. I've never done that before, and I particularly like these flowers and the kind of the overall look and the negative space. That was with Iris. And in week 4 made lots of papers, and I loved making all of these papers using acrylics and watercolours. And I'm going to show you here. Before I actually made the piece, I cut them out using some stencils I had, using some cutouts actually from some kids' games, which gave these nice shapes. Here they were, and I loved making all those pages and putting them into a sketchbook for future reference. And so I used some of my cutouts here to make this piece, and then I coffee stained the background, although I'm a bit disappointed with this coffee stain because it dried a lot darker than I thought I would, but I'll know for next time. And then I just kind of did this random piece over here over some music notes, because music's an important part of my life for me. And then next week we did papers again, and again with lots more experiments and using sponges and different tools. And I created some more pages over here showing the different tools that we use and all the different sponges. These sponges were created with makeup sponges, and then another makeup sponges and different splatters, different looks here, which I just loved. And this one is actually on some wallpaper, different splatters, and actually just went over some of my pages that I'd drawn on that I didn't want to keep up here. So then I created a piece based on serendipity in nature and choosing to feel calm when I'm in nature. And the following week with Tanya Ahmed, I was very excited to try pin bottle, but I didn't have one of those at home. So while I was waiting, I went into another old journal book that had a junk journal, and I did these 2 pages. And I like these pages more than the splatter effect where we push the pages together underneath with different colours. I had that underneath, but I didn't really like that very much. So I cut out these pages from my junk journal, which was my practice while I was waiting for the pin bottles to arrive. So I actually did this with ink and a nib pen, and this was my first attempt at doing stenciling, and I made a mistake of using watercolours, which kind of splattered all over, but it gives a nice effect. And then when my new stencils and my pin bottle arrived, I had another go, and again I used this photo technique that I used here as well, where I basically copied from a photo the outline and used the pin bottle again with acrylic inks. And I love this kind of loose movement we got. I got it on both sides here, and I had a second attempt on using the stencils, this time with acrylic paints and a very dry brush. I watched some YouTube videos on how to do that. And then my last piece for the module was based around making this 3D piece, and I didn't have available the circle cutter, so couldn't think what to do, and I remembered that recently I did this piece of artwork, which is a neurographic artwork, and I photocopied that and stuck it onto some watercolour paper and then cut it out to make this piece. So I just cut out different circles that I'd already done. I didn't follow the exact design. Pre-prepared the paper with some different elements, different bits of newspaper or different collage pieces, put a little bit of a tint on them to match these colours. Then I stuck these over and I made these 3D effects with a watercolour pencil as we were shown in the module. So I'm really pleased with the first few weeks of Wanderlust and very much looking forward to texture for the next module. Thanks very much.